Hey guys, and welcome back to more VRising. We enjoyed a very long stream of this game and we had a lot of fun, but for progression and for a little mini-series, I thought we're going to start a new game. We're going to start with the standard PvE rule set, so hopefully you're going to have a good time with the video. Let's get started. And here's our prime specimen of a vampire. Dark, mysterious hair, our non-so-human skin, and our sunglasses, of course, to protect ourselves and also to make sure that people can't identify us as vampires, because our skin color and us burning in broad daylight will not give that away. And here we are getting up like we do every morning. Now in VRising, when you start, on the top left your journal shows your first quest, and it is advised that you do these quests. They unlock recipes, they will unlock things for you to do. In the beginning you can't build anything because it's not there, so you're gonna have to unlock that by the means of the quests. Once you get to a certain point of the quests, yeah, you still can follow them, but then you have a lot more freedom to uncover your own recipes in the way the game intends you to do that. But until then, definitely follow this. Now, the game does start you off with a few skills. You have Veil of Blood, which kind of does a dash, and after you execute it, the first attack gives a 25% bonus damage and heals you for 5%. So it also creates an iframe as far as I know, so you can't, if an enemy hits you while you do that, you don't actually get hit. You also have Shadow Bolt, which does some nice damage, 200% magical damage, bam, of your current magical damage power. And then you have a Blood Rite, which is kind of a counter bubble that protects you, and when you get hit by something, you dish out 100% magical damage, but at the same time it heals you for 30% of your spell power. As you also can see, we have something called a blood pool down here. That goes down over time because you're a vampire, you need blood. So we obviously feasted on some rodents when the game starts, and this is why you have a frailed blood type. But you can suck other types of blood, we're gonna get into that a lot later, and different qualities of blood, which gives you bonuses and perks, which is kind of their class system in this game. But again, it's easier to see later on when we actually suck some good quality blood. Now, you can use it to heal yourself, and once it's out and you're out of blood, you're gonna start losing health instead. So you want to always make sure you have some type of blood in there, even if it's just dirty blood. You have some vampire powers unlocked in the beginning of the game, only 2. You can unlock more as you progress, of course, by killing certain enemies. You can expose your vein, which allows other vampires to suck your blood and take about, I think, what is it, 50%, something like that, of what you have in your blood pool you give to another vampire. That means if they are out, you can share it to them to heal themselves, or you can share it to them because you just have a very good high quality blood type that you want to share with your other clan members before you attack a boss or something, so everybody gets like stronger. The other vampire power you have is Mend, which basically heals you. Now right now it does nothing because we are actually full, but it puts you into a stasis kind of field where you can't move. If you move or get attacked, it interrupts, but it will heal you and slowly drain your blood pool in exchange. Now let's leave the crypt starting area so we can go out and kill some skeletons for their delicious bones, so we can continue on our quest. Now this game is very resource heavy. Now the grind hasn't actually been bad, but it is a grind, so collect resources whenever you can. Now of course stone and lumber is something that you find in abundance together with plant fiber, so you don't have to worry too much about that. But there is resources around which would be like flowers of certain types or something, so you see them. Anything you can harvest that is not a tree or a stone that you don't come across often, harvest it straight away. Don't worry about it, because later when you need it, you're gonna be glad that you picked it up. Here we go, here's our first enemy, a skeleton. Let's go and plant some spell power into his face. There we go, we can't suck their blood, so obviously not. We have a little tomb, we can open that as well, get some resources out of that, and get some more bones. And here we go, we have 30 bones. Now to complete this quest, you're gonna have to claim it. And as you can see, we don't have any recipes here. This is just cosmetic recipes that you get when you buy the Dracula DLC pack, but it's not something you start with if you don't have the cosmetic pack. So right now we don't have any crafting recipes, so we have to complete the quest to unlock the first recipe. Here we go. Let's craft ourselves a bone sword. It automatically gets put into our inventory, and the way your inventory works is whatever you put in the top row is equivalent to your hotbar. So you can see it changing there. And that is your first weapon, which is a sword. It does 5.2 physical damage and does extra 25% damage to vegetation. So it's a very good weapon to use to get that plant fiber chopped down or any similar vegetation. Now you can of course chop down trees with it as well. You still get the same amount of resources, at least in the beginner weapons. I don't know if that changes later, but you can use any weapon on anything to gather the resources as well. Now as you can see, we're currently in the daytime cycle, so if we go into the sunlight, yeah, that's not the best thing to do. We will start getting damage, and that damage gets progressively worse the longer you stay. But luckily there's trees everywhere, there's shades everywhere, you don't have to worry about it. Just jump from shadow to shadow. We can try out one of our skills that heals us right now. There is an enemy right here. If we do this and hit them, we get healed a little bit. If we do our protective bubble when we get hit, we also get healed. We did kill 3 enemies with our sword, so let's unlock the bone ring. The bone ring is another item that when crafted will be automatically equipped in your ring slot, and rings in generally seem to be increasing your spell power. Now they might give you other bonuses later on with higher gear level gear, but in the beginning they just increase your spell power from what I've seen. So now that we crafted the ring, we also already hit 2 enemies with Shadow Balls, so the game does remember what you did, which is great, so you don't have to do it again when the quest comes up. Let's claim that, and that will unlock armor. So we now can craft armor pieces. You can see these ones require 30 bones each, which we don't have yet, and this requires animal hides. So the starting area we are still in has a lot of bones and skeletons, so it's a great place to go and farm for a lot of bones. I would recommend in the beginning to maybe hang out a little bit here as well, even when you're ready to leave, because you're gonna need a lot of bones, and this is an extremely great place to gather them. I mean, even from graves. Also rats, pick them up. You're gonna need them a lot later. You can't kill them anyway, you see them here. You can't hit them, but you can pick them up. They will give you, in a worst case scenario, blood, frailed blood that you can see down there, but you also need them for crafting recipes later, so pick them up when you see them. The starting cemetery also has containers that you can loot, which is great, so don't skip over them. You can, of course. Oh, we have already Groot Topaz in here. That's handy. So now we can craft our first items, and you can see that your level is bound to your gear score. So now we gear level 7, so you can see it here above us. And then the next item, when it's ready, is going to bring our gear level up to 8. And then this is only 1 gear level, and then 9 and 10. So we can't craft this yet. We have to get some animal hide first. So there's no experience bar or anything. It's all driven by gear. Now, as you can see, the screen is doing some funky things on the sides, and that is because we're running out of blood. And we will start slowly losing health because of that. So it's time to leave out of the graveyard that we started in and enter the starting area, the Farbane Woods. Now, you can go left or right. It depends on you, what you like. I like, personally, to get to this area here, which seems to be a bit closer. So we're gonna go there. Now, we could eat those rats, that's why they go into the hotbar, because we can actually chew on them. But I rather find a fresh animal. There's a wolf. You can see the wolf is level 10, and it has a percentage of 4, and that is its blood quality. So when I feed on it, I will get that creature's blood into my blood pool, and you can see it's of blood type creature, and it's a quality 4. And this is where the quality comes into play. The higher the quality, the more benefits you get from that blood. Now, creature blood type gives you movement speed, increased sun resistance, damage reductions, and increased health regeneration. And it unlocks slowly more and more, depending on the blood quality, of course. Let's craft the gloves and queue up the boots, and that should get us then to gear level 10. Excellent, there we go. And we're completing this quest, which unlocks now the bone axe. Now, the bone axe is your introduction to different weapons doing different things. Now, we had the sword in the beginning, and you can see it says plus 25% physical damage to vegetation. The bone axe is doing the same damage, so you can use that to fight enemies, absolutely no problem. So you can absolutely do that. We can fight with the axe. Later on, weapons will give you multiple attack options. Right now we only have a primary attack, but at some point you're gonna craft merciless weapons or something, and they have multiple attack options, and then you might pick one weapon over another because you like prefer their special attack. Like a merciless sword, for example, does a whirlwind, which is very good if you have a lot of mobs attacking you. A mace, a merciless mace, for example, has an attack the way you jump and you just slam the hammer down. So you do have some variety in weapons, you know, to choose from. Given a certain situation, it might appeal to you more, or you just like a certain style more. But right now, in the beginning, it just introduces you to the fact that bone axes do more damage to wood. So which means if we use a sword to chop down a tree, you can see the lumber we get is not as high as if we would use the axes. So if we use the axes, you can see that we get more lumber per hit than with a sword, and that means we're chopping down the tree quicker. Let's complete the quest, and now we have to unlock the mace. Now the mace is something that when we craft it will give us extra damage for minerals, basically stone, everything. So again, we can chop down stone with a sword, or we can chop down stone with the axe. But if we chop down stone with the mace, it does more damage. We get 5 stones per hit, so it is a lot quicker to collect stone resources. Okay, having smashed 3 rocks now, we're gonna be able to complete that quest and unlock the blueprint for our castle heart and border. So now when we press B, we're gonna be able to craft, to build. So we need more blood essence to build this. Blood essence is something that you get from killing living creatures. You get like a certain amount, like 5 or 6. I don't know if we get any every time. I have no idea, but let's kill this poor little deer here. And yeah, we got 6 essences. So the more essences we collect, the better, because we need them for a lot of other things besides base building. But right now you can see we have 30, so we could place our castle heart. You can place it pretty much anywhere in the world, except on roads. Once you get into an environment, you can place it down and it tells you in the screen, oh, this gives you only a 10% buildable area near this location, because obviously here's a lot of roads and the cliffs, so it makes no sense. Now the buildable area that I'm going after, that I found so far being the highest for me was 80%, is this area here. Now on your journey through the world, you will come across points of interest, and once you get close to them, they actually unlock on your map permanently to look at. So you can see we have a bandit camp here, for example, and it has important loot items. Paper. So this bandit camp, for example, if we loot it, we are more likely to find paper. It doesn't mean there's no other resources. You can also find coarse thread, or if you're lucky, copper or whatever, but mainly the important loot you find here is paper. And you will need paper for research a lot. Over here you have a graveyard, which is great for bones. You need a lot of bones to make grave dust. It actually has grave dust, and morning lilies, which I haven't figured out yet what to use them for. But this is where you find that resource more commonly. Yeah, it doesn't mean it's there in abundance, it just means it's there more commonly. There's another area which is a bear territory, and that's obviously very good for animal hide because it has a lot of bears. Now they also can kill you very quickly, but it's great because normal animals give you about 40 hide. A killed bear gives you 100 hide. So let's check out this bandit camp here and see if we can see how much paper we get. Now it's daytime, we have to be careful, we have to stay in the shadows and probably use our ranged attacks to clear them out. So they have a chance of dropping, I think the loot table also includes possibly more paper. That was a mistimed. Nice to be fighting in the shadows. Now if you're fighting a lot of enemies, you can't suck their blood, because sucking their blood will, you know, put you into a static position where you can get damage done. So what you want to do is you want to attack them, but then press the left mouse to immediately kill them. And that allows you to do that execution kind of style attack. There we go, we're losing a lot of health. Now you can heal yourself obviously with skills, as you know, as we discussed earlier. So, but the problem is healing yourself during combat. You see that black bar? Okay, now we died, which is actually very good to showcase that as well. You see that black bar? That is lowering your maximum possible health. So the longer you fight and the more you get damaged, well, the more you get damaged during a fight, the lower your maximum health bar goes. It's slowly progressing you towards death. But right now, that's a great way to show how the death works. You're gone. If you have a castle, you can spawn at your coffin, but you can also respawn at any waygate. There's multiple waygates around the world, which you can use to travel, teleport to your castle. But again, you're limited, similar to Valheim, on certain items in your inventory. You won't be able to teleport. But that's it. So now, from here, I'm going to travel back to my body, which has all the loot still, because all the loot is gone. The weapons we keep, and that's it. But all the loot is gone, and we have to go and find our body bag. And there's our body bag among the other loot. The red one is our body bag. let's take it all and then quickly get back into the shadows, and then we're gonna be able to get our revenge. Now, as long as we stay in the shade, we should be fine. And any little bit of shade is absolutely okay. So here we go. We have some copper ore already. That is brilliant. Oh, hello. Ooh, you have a lovely amount of blood. We can get damaged while we suck blood, as I said, but this guy's ranged. He doesn't really do a very quick attack, so we should be fine. And we got some paper here, so that wasn't a lie. We got some paper in this camp. Let's open this. Oh, very nice. And there's another chest here as well. That paid off really big. Oh, a fish bone. That is something that I haven't seen before. So there you go. It pays off to loot these areas because you might find resources you usually can't get access to in the beginning of the game, which is great. Like copper ore, brilliant. That is really handy to have copper ore straight away accessible. You want to destroy all these crates as well. They have a chance to drop more items. And there's more copper ore as well. Very nice. Let's heal ourselves up. Some good quality rogue blood. So now actually our blood type is rogue, which is because of the human we drank the blood of. He was a rogue. And there you can see the buffs are going from critical, a higher chance of critical strikes, to movement speed, to reduced cooldowns on your traveling skills. The great thing about traveling on roads is that things fight themselves. So you will have traveling bandits, for example, which get attacked by animals. Skeletons which attack humans. So things do fight with each other in this world as well, which is great, and you reap the benefits. And again, only because something is higher level than you, it doesn't mean that you can't defeat it. Like bears are a perfect example. They hit hard, they have a lot of health, but again, they're very easy to actually fight. They only need a couple of attacks from your special spell attack, a couple of hits with the sword. Can even bubble up, and they're gonna heal you as well when they hit you, except when they do their special attack, then you want to get out of the way. And you can also drink their blood. And there you go. Now we don't want that. That is only 8% quality, so we're gonna kill it. And there you go, 100 height. Now this area is great. I like this one for myself to start in. It's an 80% buildable area, which is not bad at all. And for a first castle, seeing that you can build 2, which you can increase if you're playing on your own local game, up to 5, I think. So I think we should plant it down right here. And 80% is the highest we're going to get, I think, here. So let's plant it down. And there you go. You can see it now here. It's done. Now, to build anything, you're going to have to increase the area, which you do through borders, which costs you blood essence and stone. And you need to build 3 in the beginning. There we go. We're just gonna fill out the square, I guess. And then we can complete the quest as soon as we interact with our heart. Now, the castle heart has to be filled with blood essence. So blood essence is very important. And right now, as you can see here, our castle is decaying. Now, decay is very slow. I can not put any essence in here for 3-4 hours and still only be at 99 or 98%. Now, this decay timer can be changed as well in the settings if you choose to do so. But putting in blood essence, put 1 in just to see. It doesn't even give you a time. So if we put another 1 in, it's 8 minutes per blood essence, basically. Alright, let's complete the quest to unlock walls and structures. Now, your first walls that you build will not actually be proper outside walls. They will be palisades. So they don't create roofs. There is a thing where later on, when you have proper walls, like stone walls, you're gonna automatically get roofs once you put flooring down in walls, because there's no such thing as roof building, and you can only build on 1 level. Well, unless you are on a natural ramp, you can build some stairs which act like borders to get you to the next level up on a cliff or something, or when there is somewhere to naturally walk up to, you can increase your border that way. But otherwise, it's pretty much just bungalow level, and that's it. So I only just noticed now that one of the enemies we killed must have dropped a reinforced bone spear, because that is a recipe you only unlock once you put the workbench down automatically, and it's already reinforced. Now that theoretically means that while we can't mine ore yet, if we use that spear, because it's already merciless, we can get ore. There you go. We can already start chopping down the ore. Now, using reinforced mace is obviously better because you get more ore per hit, so it's faster. But getting ore, finding a reinforced weapon straight away is brilliant. So now we have a problem. It's daylight, and we're gonna have to work on our base. But obviously stepping into the sun will burn us, so that's a bit of a problem. However, there is a nice thing you can build straight away. It's called a mist brazier. So just put that down anywhere really in your area where you can build. And it allows you to put bones in, where it burns one bone every 60 seconds. And that will generate mist. And now you can see we're getting a protective area around the brazier. So now that we have everything cleared out, we should be able to build the 3 palisades. Now I'm gonna build more, and there we go. Now if you're on a PvE server, you know, of course, you don't need any walls. Just, you know, use your buildable area for whatever you want. It's just what it wants you to do in the beginning. But right now, it wants us to also make a wooden coffin. So let's just build one here. And we're going to put a chest right beside it, which is our wooden stash. Okay, let's claim the rewards. The next quest now is going to try to introduce us to refinement by making a sawmill and a simple workbench. The sawmills will refine wood into planks, and then the planks we need to make the workbench. So let's build a couple of sawmills, and we can see we have actually very little space here to do that, and the sawmill is quite big. So I think what I want to do is expand my area a little bit out here to get like a nice area. I could leave them outside as well if I want to, absolutely. You can leave this all open so you don't have to enclose them, but we're definitely gonna have to make some more space here. Now we get ourselves 3 sawmills, and the reason I build multiple sawmills, again, we can destroy it later, no problem, get some resources back, is because each sawmill takes 20 seconds to make a plank. So more sawmills, more planks. There we go. And now we're gonna make 3 planks every 20 seconds. And we need 8 for the workbench, so this shouldn't take too long. Now let's pick up all the resources. It uses 20 lumber to make the resources. And just so you know, you can see these extra icons here. Now what this means is that if you give your sawmill certain conditions or put it in certain conditions, you are increasing the speed in which it works. And if you have a workshop floor in the room that the sawmill is in, it also costs 25% less. So which probably means by 20, it probably means 15 wood instead of 20. So now we have 20 planks. We have enough to make our workbench. So let's have a look. There we go. And yeah, let's put it right here. That's absolutely fine. Things can be moved very easily. It doesn't matter if they're currently processing something or not. You can just click on them and move them around, and that's it. It doesn't cost anything, and it doesn't interrupt their processing, which is great as well. So I have items in my chest. I can just move it if I want to, and my items are still in the chest, so that's not going to make any difference at all. Now the quest is not going to be completed until we have our gear level at 15. Now to increase your gear level, you can upgrade your weapons to reinforced weapons, but note that not all weapons count cumulatively. It's basically whatever weapon you have equipped. So say for example, I have the reinforced spear here, which has a gear level of 6, and bone axes have a gear level of 3. So if I equip the bone axe, my level is 10. If I equip the reinforced spear, my level is 13. So making other reinforced weapons is not going to increase it beyond 13. So what we have to do now is we're going to have to craft gear. And this gear is a really good upgrade because it not only goes up by 1 gear level, but it gives us more health, but it's our first set gear, which gives us a set bonus. If we wear 2 items of that gear, we get a max health increase by 8. And if we wear 4, we also get an additional physical power by 2, which is awesome. Now to do that, we need our old gear, so it gets removed, which means crafting the chest removes that 1 gear point from us, and we're back down to 12 instead of 13. But equipping it, of course, then will increase it again. So we're up to 14. Let's craft the legs and the gloves, as well as the boots. And then we get that beautiful set bonus as well. So now we have the 2 set bonus active, which gives us even more health. And now we're going to have the 4 set bonus active, which is going to give us the extra power as well. And we're on 15. We're actually on 17, but if we have our normal weapons now, we only have 14. So the game kind of makes sure that you at least make 1 upgraded weapon. And now here we go. We can claim the prize. which is now unlocking the blood altar, the one thing you need to get into the actual main loop of the game. And this blood altar now allows you to search for bosses across the world, which are called V-blood carriers. The reason you want to hunt them down is there's research you can do on your research desk later on, which just randomly unlocks some recipes, but there's certain things that only unlock by killing those bosses. Like, for example, the Alpha Wolf is recommended to be first because it basically allows you to transform you. It gives you a new vampire power that allows you to transform into a wolf, which increases your movement speed. Now, there is horses as well that you can get, but we're not going to go there just to get a horse yet. And we're going to go after that first. Then Rufus the Foreman, for example, is going to give you access to the woodworking bench and recipes for the crossbow and the fishing pole, and allows you to make sculptured wood and painted frames. You might not need any of this now, so there's no need to go chase down that boss. Now, one of the bosses you need straight away is going to be, for example, Keely the Frost Archer, because she's going to give you the tannery. And allows you also to make a Traveler's Wrap, which gives you salmon resistance, which is great, but also empty canteens, which you can use then to fill up with water, that if you have a horse, you can put water canteens into its inventory to prevent it from dying. And also it allows you to make leather. So the game will not tell you much about where to get these from, so you have to look at them for yourself, like bigger storage from here. And that is how you explore in the game. So right now you're too low gear level to beat these guys, yeah, for example, so they're not going to be unlocked yet. But once you pick one, you're going to drag the blood, and then the game will kind of show you a general direction where you have to go to find that creature. Now, that general direction could be right here, or it could be all the way here. But obviously, it's a low-level boss, one of the first. And actually, there it is. The wolf then is right here. So this is actually where you find the first boss. So you don't have to settle down. If you want, you could, on your travel to your first cave, already come across this boss and kill it. We might as well go and kill the wolf, seeing how close the wolf then is to us. And there's also our first gem resource here on the way. Look at that. So we can destroy this now. And these stones here will, once they break, give you gems. Now, depending on which area you break them, as in the beginner area, you get only crude gems. But then if you destroy them in the higher level area, you get better gems, of course. Okay, we're nearly there. It's just here in that area. We can see the blood mist pointing into here. And there's the big boy. So let's see if we can lure him out, so we don't lure everybody. There we go, bam! Now he has he has this rage mode that he can go into every now and then. And I think at some point he also calls for backup, but these wolves are easily killed, so there shouldn't be a big problem. Yeah, they're very low level. Oh, unless you miss them, of course. Oh, this one is a 48% blood. It's a pity we can't really... Oh, can we do it now? Can we do it now? Or will we get killed? Oh, it's only a little damage. Nice! 48, that's lovely. See, that increased sun resistance. Nice. That's it, you just keep chopping away on him. Quickly execute this guy. Oh no! We have to kill that alpha quick. We have guests. There we go. Let's really quickly get this done. I think we're immune while we're doing this, so we should be fine. And extract that V-blood. And there we go. Bam! Very nice. 200 height as well. All on default settings. And the explosion caused some of the trees to go down. Loads of lumber for us. Whoa! Wherever that came from. And it actually killed the other guys as well. Very good. So we can claim that. And now the next quest is to build a research desk. We also now earned the vampire power for transformation, so wolf form. So you automatically learned it when you kill the boss. And it works like that with all the other things. Like if you have a new skill that you get from a boss, it just appears and then you can use it. And there we go. Now we're still not immune to sunlight, but an interesting thing is that while you're in wolf form, other wolves won't attack you. Now that we're back home, let's see if we can do the research desk. There we go. Let's plant it anywhere for right now. It's absolutely fine. And accessing this is now giving us access to research, which means if we have paper, we can discover a random recipe. If we can find a specific book with a recipe, we can see it show up here and then we can learn it. And let's complete the quest. And now we have unlocked walls and structures. Now, which means we can now make the stone walls. And building stone walls create enclosed rooms, and then having floors in them will automatically generate ceilings. So that's what you need to replace the palisades with if you want everything enclosed, so you don't have to worry about sunlight anymore. But for that we need stone brick, and stone brick is something that you make from stone resources in the grinder, and the grinder requires some copper ingots, some whetstones. So now you get into making a furnace to make the copper ingots. So there's a whole thing you're gonna have to do now. And to upgrade the castle heart, you need 12 ingots and 12 leather, which brings us to the next boss we're gonna have to chase down, which is our frost archer, to give ourselves the tannery to make some leather. Now, there's other ways of getting those resources, and we're going to be looking at them, but I'm going to leave this here for this episode. The next episode will happen on our Discord server. So I have my own server that I run for the guys on Discord. It's provided by Logic Service, so thank you very much for them. Big shout out for setting that up. And this is where I'm going to continue this series then, because I'm pretty much at the same spot. I have the alpha, I'm at the same quest. The base is in the same location, it just looks a little bit different, but we're gonna continue from there, so that's why I'm not too worried about keeping all the resources here. Anyway, I hope you had a good time with the episode. If you did, remember to kick that like button in the balls, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. And if you're new to the channel and you'd like to see, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, as always, viel Spaß and happy gaming.